Welcome to Town Talk on News Talk 1230 WFVA. Over the next hour, you'll be introduced to business and local leaders impacting our community. Text your comments or questions directly to the studio at 540-371-5756. Now, the host of Town Talk, Ted Schubel.
Leashes of Valor in this morning, and we're going to talk about ways you can get involved in so many ways. And we'll introduce Karen Meadows is back. I haven't seen you, Karen, in too long. We need to get you in more to talk about things. The lead trainer at Leashes of Valor is here, Karen, and she's brought a couple of other people along that we'll introduce you to shortly. But good to have you here.
Good morning.
For people that don't know, talk a little bit about Leashes of Valor and what you do and your crew that helps get dogs ready.
Well, thank you for having us here today. So Leashes of Valor is a nonprofit organization, and we train service dogs for post 9/11 veterans. And the really cool thing is that we provide these dogs for free to the veterans, so there will be no cost to them. So the big thing about us is we can't just do it alone. We have a team, a community of helpers with volunteers. We have several trainers and our fosters. Our fosters is what really carries this mission through. So, and thank goodness we have a foster here with us today, Linda Palmer. And then we also have a recipient of one of our dogs, which is Xander Hernandez, with his dog, Ruby.
One of the things, and good to have you guys here this morning. Can't wait to hear some of your stories. But one of the things that we will talk over and over about this morning, Karen, is the fact that you need fosters to be able to. Leashes of Valor is training more and more dogs and getting the opportunity to do that. But you need the fosters.
We really do need the fosters because right now we're only hosting 2 schools a year. Next year we would like to do 3. That's pushing it a little bit. Within the next 5 years, we'd like to have at least 4 classes going a year and hopefully even more. But it can't be done without our fosters. So that's what we really, really hope that people that are out there and they can hear us today, you're going to hear that it's not that scary to be a foster. In fact, it's very rewarding and it's a huge community service.
Linda, how did you get involved with being a foster? And I will say, Linda lives right across the street from the radio station. Everyone loves Linda because we see her out with her dogs. But how did you decide? Because you've been doing this for a while.
Almost 3 years now, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
In my heart, I wanted to do this for a very long time. And I looked at other service dog organizations, but they were out of state. You'd have to drive. And then a friend of mine was on Facebook, and she said, Linda, you're not going to believe this. There's a service dog organization right here in Spotsylvania. So I said, that's wonderful. We called, and we both went in, and we interviewed with the trainers. They came out to our home to check out our home to see if we had a fenced-in yard, and they gave us some tips. And then we went back, and we received, it was the first bunch of 6 that Leashes of Valor saved from a hoarding situation. And we both were able to get dogs from that. And I was able to foster little Ruby here, so she holds a special place in my heart because in the beginning we didn't know if Ruby was going to make it. She was a little high-strung, but the trainer said they're not going to give up on her, and we really worked her, and she is now with Xander and has made his life complete. So,
Xander, you just got you got Ruby in the spring with
Correct.
the graduation. What's life been for you?
I can honestly tell you, ever since Ruby and I were matched, my life has been, it's been a complete 180-degree turn. For a very, very long time, after my military service, I lived in somewhat of a bubble, if you will. And I went above and beyond to every length to not participate in just normal day-to-day stuff, whether it was friends, families, myself, whatever. And from the moment her and I were matched and we started working together, and subsequently after our graduation in March this past spring, it's been just a complete turnaround. I'm now, the fact that I'm sitting here having a conversation with you, is an can serve as the attestment that my life is completely different. So,
wow. So without Ruby, you wouldn't. We would be with this show would be going on, but you would not.
I certainly
have
would not be here. No, absolutely not.
Wow, that does what the power of one of these dogs.
Absolutely.
And you told us this morning that since March you've gone nowhere. You've gone nowhere without
Correct.
Ruby.
I do not leave my house without her. Right by my side, and it actually serves. Secondarily is my wife and daughter. They're absolutely in love and adore her, and she reciprocates.
Yeah.
And we can honestly say, myself, my wife, my daughter, we can't even imagine a normal day-to-day life circumstance without her now. And it's only been 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's an absolute blessing, to say the least.
Wow, Karen, for you to hear that, I mean, you've got a big smile on your face. You should have a big smile on your face, but that gives me goosebumps as he talks, just to show you the power of what you do.
Absolutely, and if you would have seen how far Xander has come, I mean, for him to be able, first of all, it takes a lot of courage to say, all right, I'm going to try this service dog thing.
Yeah.
Because, people, you see different dogs out and about and they have a service dog vest on, but not every one of them is truly what we would consider putting a vest on a dog. And then to think, is it really going to make a difference? Because he's gone so long without depending on something else. Maybe he's gone through therapy, maybe he's had medications, whatever. And Xander shared with me that his wife made him like, look, you really need to try this.
Yeah.
And, he has an awesome teamwork with his wife. And thank goodness for her to help bring Xander to us. And then from the first day that we saw Ruby and Xander to where he is now, like he said, it's 180 degrees. And it is so awesome to have him now on our team with Leashes of Valor. He's going to be part of our community outreach, if you can believe that.
Wow,
So
you have
it is 180 degrees difference.
Absolutely. This is literally, between Ruby is my service animal, and then just all the other dogs, the team at Leashes. I mean, it's turned my life upside down in the best way.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of the reverse. Like, I don't want to be sitting at home, doing whatever it is that is happening, whatever, doing nothing, for all intents and purposes. I'd much rather be out, in the community, working with the trainers, the fosters, trying to spread the word and, raise awareness. And it's become a passion for sure.
I would never have guessed that, because you came in here just so, you're just so comfortable with everything. And just as we talked before the show, and the show starts, and you're not nervous, and it's just, I would have thought, what a great, what a great personality, but it always hasn't been that way.
No, not even close. Even just 6-7 months ago, before I started working with Ruby's not the first dog that I actually trained with. I had the opportunity to train with some other dogs through their weekly trainings out in the community with fosters and potential fosters and stuff. And as Karen alluded to, Leashes of Valor wasn't on my radar. I don't do social media, I don't do any of that kind of stuff. And my wife came to me, and just a quick, for about 10 years after my time in the military, I tried to get a service animal through countless organizations all over the country, and I failed. For one reason or another, it never worked out. And at the 10-year mark, I essentially threw my hands up and I said, you know what? I'm not meant to have a service animal, and I accepted it. When my wife started talking to me about Leashes of Valor here in Fredericksburg, I was very hesitant. I was like, no, I tried. I played that game for so long. It took so much out of me. I can't do it again. And at first she left it alone, but she kind of kept picking away at me, picking. And ultimately I gave in, and I could not be more thankful that I did, because it's just been an absolute blessing, not just for me, but for my family. And I've seen things within my community, since that I had never seen before, never experienced before. And like we were talking about before, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now if it wasn't for this program and this dog.
Yeah.
So
need to take a quick break. Wow, this is powerful stuff this morning. Leashes of Valor, leashesofvalor.org if you want to jump online and see exactly what they're all about, and also Facebook too. Karen Meadows, Linda Palmer, Xander Hernandez here this morning. More on News Talk 1230 WFVA.
This is Town Talk on News Talk 1230 WFVA. Download the all-new News Talk 1230 WFVA app for Apple and Android. Text your comments or questions directly to the studio at 540-371-5756. And now, here's your host, Ted Schubel.
It's Leashes of Valor in this morning. Karen, Xander, and Linda here this morning as we talk about some of the various areas of Leashes of Valor. Linda Palmer is one of the fosters. To hear Xander's story and to see it, and boy, to see a dog that you were fostering, for you that's just got to be. I mean, it's like seeing your kids grow up.
Right. And I'm glad I brought one of these. It's a tissue because when he was telling that story, that's the first time I've heard that. It just brings it all home, and that's really what I'm here for, is to help a service member, what they've done for us. It's my time now to help them, and to know that Ruby has saved your life. That means everything to me because I've seen her, I've helped train her, and now I know her purpose is with Xander, and that's very heartwarming, and really it makes it all worthwhile. And if anybody's listening and they have just an inclination that they might want to foster, I would say go to the website, get in touch with one of our trainers. You will not be disappointed. It is such a wonderful feeling to give back to the community. And if you love animals, that's an extra bonus to help train these animals for our service members.
When Ruby saw you today, I'm sure she knew you.
Well, she had her vest on, so I was trying to respect the boundaries there, so I tried not to acknowledge her. But certainly after the show, I'm going to ask if I can give her a little scruff. And
just because, boy, but to see the end result, and when you see it at graduations with dogs that you've had, and you see it because when you see them doing the things that you help train them to do.
Right, and I love the puppies, so I like getting them fresh and training them on their obedience, and to see them click and to know that they've got it. That is a great feeling. And our trainers, we go to training every week, and they give us all sorts of tips. They send us videos. A foster is never alone in the training, and it's more than just you have the dog in the crate, you put them on their place. You're actually building a relationship with that dog to let them become that service dog that they're meant to be. So it's a wonderful feeling, and yes, to get the puppies is my thing. I love it, and I live right across the street, so you guys can see it in action.
No, we do. We see it all the time, and that really gives me a sense of what you do. Because when you go outside, you whenever you're out, I see you out. You have the dogs. Do you have it? How long do you have generally? Does it vary sometimes with the animals that you get?
There are several variables. It depends on the foster, the dog, whether it's meeting all the goals, and we try to do it every 3 to 6 months as a transfer. But again, the trainers will evaluate, because we do training every week. They'll evaluate where the dog is, and they'll make that decision whether it needs to go to a mini boot camp or if it needs to go to a different type of environment, say with children or if someone's going to work. And they'll go through those stages, but the trainers really monitor that. And like I said, usually anywhere from 3 to 6 months, the dog is with you.
Boy, so Karen, the trainers, you really keep, day to day, even hourly, kind of watch on everything.
We do, and it's very important because the dogs go through all different types of growing phases, and we start to learn about their personalities, and there's, and it's a balancing act because sometimes the dogs are doing really well where they are, and we don't really want to upset the apple cart.
Yeah.
However, if we see the dog needs a little bit something more, a different lifestyle than what they're currently with right now, then we will switch them up. And it's very important because we don't know where these dogs are going to end up. So we don't know if the person that receives the dog is going to be working from home, going to work in a city, going to work in an office, going to work in a hospital, whatever it is. So we try to make sure we acclimate the experiences that this dog has to whatever it may encounter, in its future. So that includes bus rides, metros, airplanes, escalators, elevators, band, live music. Some of our dogs are going to be going to work in hospitals, so they got to get used to all those noises in a hospital. Big crowds, small farm animals, whatever the trainers can come up with, we try to make sure that we provide those opportunities for the dogs to get comfortable with.
No, I remember when you came in the last time, Linda, and talked about the escalators and taking them down to Short Pump, because that was they had escalators there.
Right. They have escalators there, elevators, a big courtyard where we can train. It's a great place to go. Bass Pro Shop is another great place to go because they have the water and the fish floating around.
Yeah.
And around here, we go to parks. We go to the mall.
Go downtown.
Yeah.
Go to live music concerts.
Yeah. And just like simple things that we have to get them used to. Walking downtown, if there's a grate, the dog has to be able to go over that grate without fear. So we kind of expose them to all of that.
Yeah.
To make sure that they're ready.
Because I guess as the process goes on, Karen, you're monitoring where is the dog in the training and where you need to know where it needs to be be ready. So you want to, I guess, keep moving forward.
Exactly. Yep. And thank goodness our fosters are very open to the different types of training opportunities. I think next week we're going to be going to the Fred Nats game, and then we also have rodeos, we have state fairs, county fairs coming in. So we make sure that the fosters are having fun too. They get to have some entertainment along the way. So one of the great things, I'm going to just go ahead and plug this, with LOV, we make sure that the fosters don't have to pay out of pocket. We provide everything for the care of that dog, medical, food, training equipment, comfort equipment, whatever you need, we want to make sure that we provide that. So we don't want any costs coming out of the foster's pocket. And we want to treat them to some special places like the games and King's Dominion and wherever we think that the dog should be able to go. We want to make sure the foster feels welcome to come with.
Well, Linda, the memories you have with all the different dogs. How many dogs have you had altogether? Do you know?
It's been over 10 now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think she's
each
on her
one,
11th or 12th.
I will tell Karen, I'll say, I love this one. I love this one. You love each one of them. They're all wonderful. And I need to start keeping a journal of all the things that they do that make me laugh. And we tried to do that for the veteran when they are placed with the animal.
Yeah.
We will give them our journal, and it has all the cute little stories of them losing their teeth, or they did this the first time they saw water, or something like that. But yes, there's so many memories with these animals, and there's never a day that I don't have a smile on my face. You know, even with the puppies, when there's a little piddle on the floor, they'll do something silly, and it makes me laugh. So just to see them learn, and the obedience and the love that these animals give, the way the trainers pick the animal, they really do a temperament test. So these dogs, just from the beginning, before any training, have a very good temperament, and just wonderful animals.
Yeah. Xander, your story about waiting for Ruby reminded me when in talking with Jason Haig, the founder of Leashes of Valor, he's talked to us on this show about it was the end for him too. I'll give this a try, but low expectations, and it sounds like Ruby came into your life and immediately. I mean, it just sounds like just very quickly you saw what Ruby could do for you.
Absolutely. I had no idea, and like I said, I spent many years trying to get a service animal because, as a veteran, I was aware of, service dogs, and, they're out there, and I had seen on a number of occasions what they can do for their veterans. And I mean, let's be honest, when I got out of the military, it was roughly 2010. I was in a very different place, very strange place, physically, mentally, emotionally, all that kind of stuff. So I didn't know, necessarily what my future held for me, but I did know I think I would be a lot better off if I had a companion, not in a traditional sense, but, a service animal.
Yeah.
And then over the course of that decade, it wiped me out, in terms of just trying time after time after time. And I had given up. So because of my wife's consistency and, her insisting that I get together with LOV, and then, meeting all the trainers, Jason, Chris, Karen, Lisa, I mean, everybody. And, they brought me back into a place where it's like, okay, this is worth the effort. And I'm going to sound like a broken record eventually, but I mean, it's absolutely, turned my life upside down on its head, in the best way possible. So.
Well, it's fabulous having you here today because I've only met one other person associated with Leashes of Valor that other than Jason and Chris, but who had the dog, and he talked about how having the dog, he was forced to go to work the dog, and that got him out, and then that got him feeling more comfortable going places. So I guess before Ruby, going places was just something that was. When you said you would never be here, you wouldn't be here sitting in here today without Ruby.
Yeah, no. Before Ruby and I were matched together, I didn't really leave home. The only reason I would leave home is if I had an appointment at the VA or something was going on, for my wife or my daughter, and I just had to be, present for it. Otherwise, I just, I sat in my basement all day, every day, and just kind of kept to myself. And Ruby's not only improved everything for me in the day-to-day, but it's also improved, my relationship with my wife, my daughter. I have a son from another relationship as well. He's a little bit older, but every element of my life has been improved in some way, shape, or form because of her, because of Ruby. So.
And that's just as people get involved with Leashes of Valor, no matter if financially, foster, whatever, however you can get involved and help. You're helping you and others.
Absolutely.
That who knows where you would be right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the bottom line is, like Karen mentioned, fosters are really the backbone, because they provide the home, the environment, the nurture that these animals need while they, not only grow up, but, train and become these animals that are just, absolutely unique in every way that you can imagine. But from the LOV team to the trainers to the fosters, it's just it's a very fluid process, and for all of the craziness that ensues every single day from top to bottom, LOV is very lucky to have people like Karen and Linda doing what they do, because it's an insane thought to think all the responsibility that they have, not only for the animals but for the vets, for each other, the facilities that they use, branching, getting themselves into the community, doing all these things. It's unbelievable what they do every day.
And the exciting thing, Karen, is that the dogs, we talk about Xander being around here, and there's plenty of dogs around here, but you've got people with dogs all around the country.
We do. Yes, we have veterans that have received our dogs, come to our school, graduated, and we have them in Colorado, New York, North Carolina, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. We've got veterans coming in. Everybody's from out of town except for one. One will be a local, but we have Texas, New York, North Carolina, and Maryland, and then one from Fredericksburg.
LeashesOfValor.org if you want to get involved. Quick break. We'll continue on this morning with Xander, Karen, and Linda on News Talk 1230 WFVA. It's 8:30.
From the Fredericksburg.Today online news studios, this is News Talk 1230 WFVA Fredericksburg, a centennial broadcasting station focused on Fredericksburg. Welcome back to Town Talk on News Talk 1230. You can weigh in about today's topic on Facebook at WFVA 1230 and by text at 540-371-5756. Here's your host, Ted Schubel.
It is Leashes of Valor this morning, leashesofvalor.org. Head Trainer Karen Meadows is here, and Karen has brought... Karen, this is such a... during the break, we talked about this being a powerhouse show, and you have brought... You brought Linda Palmer, who is just a top-of-the-line foster, and then Xander Hernandez, who is one of the recipients. And what a great show. I guess, Linda, for you to also see Ruby, his dog, who you had... As a foster and knowing is attached in as much as you like these dogs, it helps when you have to give up a dog to know that this dog, that Ruby's doing just what Ruby needs to be doing and what Ruby was trained to do.
Right, that's exactly right. It's sad to see them move on, but when you go to a graduation and you see the pairing of the dog with the foster, it just brings it all full circle, and that's why we're doing it. And people always ask, is it hard to give up the dog? Yes and no. Yes, because you do fall in love with each and every one of them, but you know why you're doing it. And then, as luck would have it, you're going to get another dog when that dog moves on. Mm-hmm. So your heart breaks a little, but then you're always working on the next dog. So it's just a cycle. And like I said, when it comes to the graduation, that's what makes it all worthwhile. And I'm telling you, just to hear Xander's story, like I said, I didn't hear this before. It touches me to know that I had a small part in his happiness. That is an amazing thing.
Well, and Xander, and I think about your story, and I think how fortunate you were and are to have, you know, a wife that was looking out for and knew what you wanted to, knew what you needed, and kept pushing in your family, and then to have Leashes of Valor right here. That's the other thing. There's so many people in this community, and we're such a military region like this. This is, boy, Leashes of Valor is where it needs to be, and now the need is for more money and for more fosters.
Yes, the foster situation is really the key element right now. LOV has so many dogs within the program that they're training and preparing for future veterans, and there is never enough attention from the community. So if you are out there, if you're hearing this conversation today and you have any interest whatsoever, if it's a thought that's crossed your mind, if you had, a random dream and woke up one morning and had that thought in the back of your mind, whatever it might be, it's free, and it only takes a few minutes to hop on the website and start reading things, and maybe reach out and talk to one of the LOV staff, and just kind of start figuring things out. And it's, as Karen alluded to, it's a lot less scary than you might think, being responsible for one of these animals. And as Linda's spoke about already this morning, it's an absolutely life-changing experience, not just for the veterans that receive these dogs, but for you as a foster or a volunteer. It's going to change your life too.
Can I just, I think we should stress that you all take care of everything. Leashes of Valor, if anyone's ever looked into other organizations, most of the time as puppy raisers or fosters, you pay for everything. You pay for the vet bill. The dog is basically yours until it goes to the end training where they get placed with their foster.
Yeah.
Leashes of Valor is different. They're right here. They will supply everything for you, the kennel, the food, the leashes, the vet care, everything. All you have to do is show up to training once a week, be in touch with the trainers, and give this puppy or dog as much love and training, obedience training as you can. What a great thing to have this in your home, knowing where the end result of that dog is going to be. It really is a no-brainer. If you have it in your heart to give back some way for your community, I would say we're in need. And to know where Jason and the team wants to go with more classes to provide dogs to more veterans, we really need the support. So I'll keep doing as much as I can, and I know Xander and Karen, we're all in this, and it's really all for the veterans. And like you said, we're right here near Quantico and Dahlgren.
Yeah.
And people that are working right now can do this. It's doable.
Yeah. That's a good point, because even if you're working, we have some teachers that have gone back to school already. They're fosters, but you know what? We get the dogs while they're at work. So we'll pick up the dogs early in the morning, we'll work with them during the day, and we'll make sure you get them back at the end of your day too. So whether if you're a teacher or if you're working a 9 to 5 somewhere, we try to make it as easy as possible for you. And one of the big questions, or the statement that I always hear, I could never see myself giving the dog up. Well, if you get in the mind frame that this dog is about helping someone. Usually when someone gets a pet, it's about their needs. But I will tell you, what you receive when you give is tenfold. And that's the mind frame, like Linda keeps sharing. She knows what this dog was meant to do, and she's going to do everything she can with her talents, her skill, her love, to make sure that it's going to be the best dog for the veteran. And if you go with that type of mind frame, it becomes a lot easier to be a foster. Again, you get a little bit attached, but when you see the pairing, I will tell you, it is instant. You're like, that's what I was doing. I'm helping someone. Yeah. So,
and then you're like, I want to do it again.
I want to do it again. Right. And we have different stages. We have where you can just do it for a weekend. If you want to do it longer, like the 3 to 6 months, we have some fosters that have held the dog for over a year because they are doing really well, and we see that type of work is being done with the dog. Now, some of those people that have the dog a little bit longer, 6 months, they are former trainers and other different facets. But I will tell you, whatever you think you could handle, whether it's a weekend, whether it's for a week, or if it's long term, we need you.
Well, and I've seen firsthand. There's no one easier to work with and more open to do it as you, Karen, because you've been talking to my wife about this, and always I'll come over, and you come over and you talk. I mean, you'll analyze the person's home, their backyard, and
so that's a little tricky too. People are like, "Oh my gosh, my house isn't going to be good enough."
Right.
You don't have to have a fenced-in yard to have one of our dogs.
Oh, okay.
You don't. What we want to make sure is that we see a house that's full of love. And that's what it takes, that everybody is in on the game. We need to make sure that everybody that lives in the house is in favor of this. Make sure they don't have allergies, those type of things. So I'm not coming to inspect your rooms or anything like that. My first intuition when I walk in the door, this house is full of love.
Yeah.
This is what I want the puppy to experience.
If a person who wants to be a foster has a dog, is that a problem?
Yes, if you have a dog, that's as long as your dog does well with the meet and greet with one of our dogs, then yes, that's not a problem. We have some of our dogs that are flourishing because they've had that support of another dog, and they see, well, really, we can do this and we can do that. And then, like, I'm thinking of one of our dogs here locally. I mean, he went to a little spaz, didn't want to focus in on anything, but the other house dog that he became a foster sister to him, he's like, oh, this is so cool. I can retrieve, I can go swimming, I know how to sit at the door, I know how to do this. So that dog has been a fantastic mentor for our upcoming dog that's going to be ready next year.
So no matter what your situation, run it by you.
Yeah, run it by us. We'll tell you, and we try to make it work. And if it can't work, I'm always going to be an advocate for the dog, of course, but I will tell you, I will bend over backwards, and so will all the other trainers, to make sure it works for you.
And I'm sure, Linda, now that you've done this 10 times or so with different dogs, you now know a lot of things, but at first you wouldn't have known a lot, and I guess Karen and the other trainers help you answer questions or give you strategies.
Right. So when we go to training, they teach us all the commands that we need to teach the dog. We train in various places, at the mall, at parks. So yes, they basically teach us. And the more animals you have and the more training you do, you become better. I mean, that's and
Absolutely.
We watch videos. We have a foster website or Facebook page that we all share stories and share our training videos on. So it's really a community effort. We learn from each other. And there's not a time that I have called someone at Leashes of Valor with a question that they didn't immediately call me back. And just to, I don't know if we touched on it, but even if you're a long-term foster, if you go on vacation, you just let Leashes of Valor know, I'm going on vacation. Never once did I feel any pressure that, oh, they can't take the dog back. They are there, and it's very easy. So you can still live your life. Sometimes you can take the dog with you, depending on what the vacation is. But if you can't, Leashes of Valor takes that dog back, no questions asked. And then, actually, I went on vacation, and my service dog in training went to a trainer, and she came back even better.
Yeah,
Wow.
We're very, very fortunate for the caliber of trainers that we have. And I'm not speaking about myself, but my fellow trainers. A lot of years of experience, over 100 years of experience in different facets of dog training environments. So we're very, very fortunate and very blessed for the top trainers that we have.
So, Linda, I guess do you take your dogs just about everywhere you go?
Yes. Once they earn their service vest, they have to pass it. What do we call it?
Yeah, a vest evaluation. Yeah.
We take them to doctor's appointments, hair salons, the mall. Anywhere we go, we can take the dog. So that's great. I've taken Riley to the beauty shop, and she loves that. To hear the hair dryer, she's not afraid of that. She loves to greet people. So, everywhere we go, they can go.
Xander, when you got Ruby, or how did it work when how you learned about how to be around Ruby, or how did they acclimate you to having a service dog?
Well, I can say I'm a little bit unique as compared to some of the other veterans that have gone through the LOV program and been matched with animals. Because I live local, I had access to come out to the public access training a couple times a week, go and see Axel's place, the facility here in Spotsylvania, and kind of meet, greet, and work with some of the other animals. So I mean, if I'm being 100% transparent, I kind of had a cheat sheet, ahead of being matched with Ruby. But as Karen said, the caliber or level of trainer that they have within the organization is literally second to none. I mean, I get to see day in and day out, whether it be a training, because I still go to training with Ruby. We still go, even though we graduated. She's my service dog in an official capacity. We still go to training because it's good for her, it's good for me, and it allows me to do what I want to do for LOV, and that's community outreach. But anyway, I get to see firsthand what each and every trainer has to offer, how they interact with animals, what they do, all of that stuff. And I get to learn every single time I go out and I do these things or have a conversation. I'm learning something right now, believe it or not, both about myself, the dog, the organization, how everything flows and stuff like that in these circumstances. So, I mean, you're always learning, you're always improving, situations are always getting better, and it cannot be overstated just how wonderful the program is, not just for the veteran, but for anybody involved. Anybody.
Yeah, I don't know, and you are. You're a great example in the stories that you're able to tell. And Ruby has just sat there and has not moved.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
For an hour.
Yep.
And Karen, you just have to sit there and just be so proud of everything.
It's very easy for me to get up and go to work every day.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. And
sometimes I'm working 7 days a week, and even my husband's like, "Are you on your 7th day?" "Yep, no problem. Got it."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've seen you at different times, and it's so interesting watching you with as you talk to fosters or just talk to people about just little things of how you approach the dog, there's a lot that goes into it.
There truly is. You have to learn how to read the dogs, their body language, depending on where that dog is in their journey.
Yeah.
And so that's what's really cool about our trainers. They know, they can spot in an instant what that particular dog needs and what this particular dog needs at that group training. Now, we also come and do privates with these dogs too, but we can, and I know I don't have to go behind the other trainers because whatever they say, I know it's gold.
Yeah.
I already know. So and it's very fortunate, but we acclimate to whatever dog we're training by reading their body language, if they're reciprocating what we are trying to teach them, or if we're pushing too far or not pushing enough. So again, that comes from the years of experience with our great trainers of Mike and Lisa. And now we have 2 other trainers that do board and train out in Charlottesville, and that's Lori and Elaine. And we're going to be looking for more trainers because we need to get more dogs into veterans' hands.
And there's the next graduation is
November 8th
at
the Spotsylvania Courthouse with our Sheriff's Department Veterans Day event.
That will be exciting because that's going to be a big group.
It is going to be a big group. Yeah.
The last couple of years, the ones I've gone to, the March ones, those are always.
Yes.
And I don't remember you from that, but that was I'm gonna have to go back and look at pictures now that I took that day.
Yep, he was there, but thank goodness that was such a big one. We're not sure if we can host them at Axel anymore just because of the volume that we're receiving, which is very exciting. So as much as we will have other open houses and those type of events at Axel's so the community can come and learn about us, but we're getting to the point where we're going to look for larger venues for our graduations now.
Which that's exciting. Yeah. That's exciting too.
It is.
Quick break. We're going to wrap this up this morning with Leashes of Valor. Karen Meadows is here along with Xander Hernandez and Linda Palmer this morning. LeashesofValor.org. We'll conclude on News Talk 1230 WFVA.
This is Town Talk on News Talk 1230 WFVA. Hear the show anytime by subscribing to the Town Talk podcast on your favorite podcast platform. And now, here's your host, Ted Schubel.
It is Leashes of Valor this morning. Wow, what a good show. What a good show. And thank you all for coming and just sharing this because,
Absolutely.
boy, this has been...
we appreciate you having us. Thank you.
This has been just really... just shows just the depth and just the impact. There's another good way. October 11th, Karen, big gala. This is the first time Leashes of Valor, I think, has had a gala.
We are going to have a fabulous event on October 11th. We have a formal gala, and that will be in Spotsylvania at our Fawn Lake neighbors. But if you would be interested in participating and come and having a wonderful evening with us, we're going to have casino games, that type of theme. But check us out at leashesofvalor.org. Get your tickets now. So they are going.
And yes, check that out. A great way to see this firsthand and to help Leashes of Valor. And also, if you want to become a sponsor for this, there are opportunities for businesses,
absolutely,
or individuals to become a sponsor.
Sponsors for this, yes, absolutely. So we're hoping that everybody that's coming out will have just a fantastic time. That's our goal, and to make sure all proceeds will go directly to the leashesofvalor.org. For our dogs and keeping our program growing.
And that's it, boy. And I just think over the last few years, Karen, when you've been coming in, just how you have grown.
Yes.
And the
amazing.
Stories you have, and the number of dogs. And Xander, I'm glad you've brought up a number of times just the fact that how fortunate we are to have Leashes of Valor in this area.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a firm believer. It's going to sound a little, maybe a little negative, but as human beings, we don't deserve dogs. I mean, and the Leashes of Valor dogs are kind of even a step above that. What these dogs are able to do and what they provide for us as veterans is just absolutely second to none.
Well, to have you here this morning and to know that you're here because of Ruby is such a powerful testimony to the power of what's with Linda and the other fosters and Karen and the other trainers. You're ultimately, you're the prize here. You're the one who's benefits from this. And you just think of so many veterans who need this.
Absolutely. I mean, I would certainly never refer to myself as a prize, but I can definitely tell you that it's really as black and white or as simple as I would not be here today without Ruby, without Leashes of Valor, the LOV team, and I also have to repeat my wife also.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, I was going to say you're a prize to me because you're here today, and for your wife to get you. I mean, this is great. You're just, and it's exciting that you're going to be working with outreach with Leashes of Valor.
Absolutely.
Because you got a story to tell.
I try.
And Ruby too. Ruby too. And for Linda, one of the behind the scenes person who made all this happen. Thank you for you and all the fosters.
Yes.
Well, I'm honored, honestly honored to be a part of this team because it's fulfilling, and I just know there's somebody out there listening that is thinking about it, and all I can say is just call, give it a shot. And I'm looking at you too, Ted. Just give it a shot.
I was hoping you weren't going to say that because my wife is just itching to at
if
least
your
do
wife
it
is listening.
He's not listening.
But no, it really is. And and in your case, knowing as a foster that to add more fosters helps you all out.
Yes. I want to see as many dogs as we can go to our veterans. And we're lucky enough to have people donate some of these dogs. We save them from shelters. And even that is rewarding to see a dog that was in a shelter become a service dog and have a purpose in life. But yes, we need the people because without the fosters, we really don't have a program. And the veterans need these animals. And please just check it out. That's all I can say.
And Karen, for you, thank you for what you've done. It amazes me that I've known you a long time, and I had no idea that you did what you did with dogs, and now with Leashes of Valor. And it's just you and the trainers make all this happen.
No, it's not just me; it is the team of trainers, and like she said, the whole community with our management. Everything's very positive. everybody's supporting each other. So it's an incredible organization to be a part of.
Leashesofvalor.org, October 11th. You can see it all in person. And
That's right. And then also 9/11, we will be at Missions Barbecue from 4 to 6. Please come see us there.
I will do that because it is a great organization, and anything you can do to help as a foster financially, go to the gala.
Absolutely.
Become a
be a part of our LOV family.
Right. Leashesofvalor.org. Xander Hernandez, great to have you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Look forward to working with you and seeing you again real soon.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Linda Palmer is our favorite neighbor in this neighborhood. She lives right across from the radio station. We see the Leashes of Valor truck. We see the dogs. Thank you, Linda. Karen, as always, good to see you again.
Great to see you, too. Thank you.
Leashesofvalor.org. Thanks for listening. See you in the morning.
Thanks for listening to Town Talk on News Talk 1230 WFVA. The views expressed by the host and guests on this program are their own and not necessarily those of this station, its management, or Centennial Broadcasting. Hear the show anytime by subscribing to the Town Talk podcast on your favorite podcast platform. The Glenn Beck program is next on News Talk 1230 WFVA, focused on Fredericksburg.